March 18, 2019. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. The miracle verses of Surah Anbia, that is Surah number 21. The name of the Surah Anbia means the prophets. This Surah discusses several prophets that during a long period of time God sent to guide people to the right path. This surah also has 6 miracle verses. Among the miracle, most of the surahs of Quran have one or several miracle verses. But among those, these verses stand out because they discuss the most important things that happen in the world. The most important things that has happened before is happening now and will happen in the future. They discuss the creation of the world, the creation of the life, the most important functions of the earth that according to the geologists are the scientists who discuss about the earth. According to them, these characteristics about the earth that this surah says is the most important knowledge about the earth and shows that the earth is a live planet. Mars, we are the third planet from the sun. Mars is next to us. It is the 4th planet. Mars does not have these activities, and the geologists say that it is a dead planet. And close to the end of the surah, it describes how God will terminate the world. This part, the cosmologists, because it has not happened, have different ideas about them. But what Quran says, it can be explained according to the scientific knowledge that we have, the cosmologists have. Because these verses are about the most important scientific facts of the world, to understand them, one should have a basic knowledge about cosmology, which is the science about the world. Another word for the world is universe. Astronomy, which is the science about the stars, and geology, which is the science about the earth. As a medical doctor, I did not have knowledge about these sciences. But after I realized that a lot of the verses of the Quran are about the nature, I became interested in learning more about them. So I read several books about these sciences, and also I listened to the Science Channel on cable TV, especially 2 programs, which are one, how the universe works. It has several topics, and the other one is how the earth works. Now, God willing, I will try to explain the miracle verses of Surah Anbia, Surah number 21. because most of people are not experts in cosmology, astronomy, and geology, the first two sessions that I talk would be very brief and would be very short, in fact. They take just several minutes. And I recommend that, if needed, you view these sessions more than once. As I said, there are 6 important miracle verses in Surah Anbia. Today and in the next session, God willing, I will talk about the first one of them, which is verse number 30. It states, do not those who disbelieve know that the heavens and the earth were joined together, then we opened them, and we have made from the water every living thing? Will they not then believe? Discussion. This verse has 3 parts, and I will talk about them separately but very briefly. In this session, I will talk just about the first part, and the other 2 parts will be discussed in the next session. The first part says, the heavens and the earth were joined together, then we opened them. Discussion. At about the middle of the 20th century, the genius English cosmologist Stephen Hawking, that most of the cosmologists say after Einstein he is the second person who has talked about the world and has proved important things. He used mathematics, and by the help of the mathematics he proved that the universe had at one time been very condensed, so condensed that its size has been much less than a dot. In fact, it has been 1 billion times smaller than the size of the nucleus of a hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom is the smallest atom. It has 1 proton at the center, 1 nucleus, and around it just 1 electron is moving. And the world has been 1 billion times smaller than the nucleus of hydrogen atom, not the whole part of it. 1 billion is 1,000 millions. And hydrogen atom is so small that it cannot be seen by a regular microscope, and it can only be seen by an electron microscope. Stephen Hawking proved that the universe suddenly exploded, and he named this explosion the Big Bang. This was 13.8 billion years ago, and the universe is still expanding. Then George Smith using an extensive program with the help of 1,500 other cosmologists and astronomers who were working in the observatories of the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Chile, he was able to register the waves of the first 3 minutes after the Big Bang. The explosion was so big that it made waves, and these waves, the remnants of these waves are still present, and he was able to register those. In the past few years, there has been two other important discoveries about Big Bang. One, the first second of the Big Bang is the most important time, not only in the past 13.8 billion years, 13.8 billion years, but also in the future, as long as the world exists. Because what happened in the first second has determined how the world changes, the expansion of the world, and so on, which has happened in the past 13.8 billion years, and what will happen in the future of the world until the world is terminated. Two, the second important discovery was that before the Big Bang, there was not any space either. In fact, there was nothing. The Big Bang created the space, which after creating the space, it exploded, it became bigger by explosion, and at that time, so the space came into existence, and at that time, the time came into existence. Before that, there was not any time either. Currently, the universe is composed of stars. Stars they came into existence millions of years after the Big Bang. Hundreds of millions of years after the Big Bang. And each star is a very large, hot, and shiny sphere, and our sun is one of them. So the stars each star, in fact, is a sun by itself. Some of them are larger than our sun, and some of them are smaller. And the stars are gathered in clusters that they call them galaxies. Our galaxy, which is called the Milky Way, has 200 billion stars in it. As I said, each billion is 1,000 millions. The size of the universe is so vast that it cannot be measured by kilometer or mile and so on. It is measured by the time that the light travels. The speed of the light is 180,000 miles, equal to 300,000 kilometers per second. That is a very, very large distance that light travels in just 1 second. The diameter of the world is 93 billion light years, which means that it takes 93 billion years for light to travel from one side of the world to the other. And the world is still expanding. Most of the cosmologists believe that our world is not alone. And they believe that there are numerous other worlds, that they are very, very far from our world. Each of them is very, very far. And they say that instead of using the word universe, we should use the word multiverse. This word covers all the other words also. As I said, verse 30 has 3 parts. I talked about the first part, and in the next session, God willing, I will talk about the other 2 parts. Thank you very much, and God bless you.